Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So I do have these notes typed up with fill in the blanks for you if you want to print those out first, or you can just watch the video. It's totally up to you. So today we're going to talk about what's the whole point of studying domain. So in algebra, you may not have understood the purpose of domain. It might have been something taught to you and then you ignored it. It was just something we were supposed to check off the list. And so it sometimes leads to long algebraic procedures that could have been minimized if you would have understood what the domain represents. So for example, if we solve the equation square root of x minus 3 equal to square root of 1 minus x. If you want to take a moment to pause the video and see if you remember how to solve it, go ahead and do that. So if you remember, we're going to square both sides, which leaves us with x minus 3 is equal to 1 minus x. And then if we add x to both sides and add 3 to both sides, we get 2x is equal to 4, and we would say x is equal to 2. The problem is, once we square both sides, we get possible extraneous solutions, meaning that I have perfect work, but the answer is not correct. So you always have to check your answer when it comes to square roots or squaring both sides. And so if I substitute 2 in, it looks like we get something that's equal. But notice that it's the square root of -1 equal to the square root of -1. And that doesn't give me a real solution. It's not something I could graph. So since we're only discussing real values, x equal to 2 is not a real solution. And so that means that there would be no real solution to this equation. Now, if we think about it in terms of domain, instead of just plug and chug and try and figuring it out, let's talk about the domain for the first function. So if we have the square root of x minus 3 in there, we can't take the square root of a negative number. So that means that x minus 3 has to be greater than or equal to 0. So if I add 3 to both sides, that means that the restriction on the domain is x has to be greater than or equal to 3 for that function to exist. So in the second function, we have the square root of 1 minus x. So for that to be a real answer, that means that 1 minus x has to be greater than 0. So if I subtract the 1 from both sides, remember that we'd be dividing by a negative next, and so that would flip my inequality. So I end up with x is less than or equal to 1. So if you don't believe me, go ahead and take a moment to solve that. So if we think about this on the number line, we're talking about values starting at 3 and going greater, and then values at 1 and going smaller. There is no value that exists in both of those functions. So since the domains of the two functions do not have any numbers in common, there is not going to be a solution to that. And that was a whole lot quicker than the previous problem. So if you don't believe me, let's try this one. We're going to go ahead and put pencils down because this one's a little bit more difficult. And it's a little bit more difficult because when we square both sides, notice we have addition over here. And that addition means that we need to actually FOIL. So we get 2 squared is 4. My outer would be 2 times the square root of x minus 4. My inner would be 2 times the square root of x minus 4. And then my last would be the square root of x minus 4 squared, which is just x minus 4. So if I clean up that right-hand side, I have a positive 4 here and I have a negative 4 here. So those would cancel. And so that would leave us with x plus, and then I've got 4 times the radical because 2 plus 2 gives me 4. So then I could subtract x from both sides. Oops, a little too fast. We've got 4 minus 2x is equal to 4 times the square root of x minus 4. And since I can't divide both sides by 4 nicely, I'm going to go ahead and square both sides again because I need to get rid of that radical, which means I'm going to have to FOIL this left-hand side again. And so when we FOIL, we would get this answer. Again, pencils down, we're just watching. And then to clean that up, that means that we have, moving everything to the left, we're going to distribute the 16. So that means we're going to be subtracting 16x from both sides and adding 64 to both sides. And we get 4x squared minus 32x plus 80 is equal to 0. So then if I put that into, or actually, I noticed that everything is divisible by 4, so I'm going to divide that out. So we get x squared minus 8x plus 20 is equal to 0. And then using the quadratic formula, we have a is equal to 1. b is equal to -8, and c is equal to 20, and so we can plug that into our quadratic formula. So if you notice, inside of this radical is going to be a negative, which means that both answers are going to be imaginary. So that means that we don't have any real solutions. So since what we call the discriminant is negative, the answers are complex, and that means that there's no real solution, just like I said. So now with pencils up, if I don't want to have to do that 2 pages worth of work that I just did on the slides, let's see if we can look at domain and see how that would help me solve this so much faster. So if we look at the first function, that tells us we can't take the square root of a negative. So that means that 4 minus x has to be greater than or equal to 0. So if we solve that for x, subtracting the 4 from both sides and dividing both sides by -1, that would give us x is less than or equal to 4. And if we look at the second function, x minus 4 has to be greater than or equal to 0. So adding 4 to both sides, I would get x is greater than or equal to 4. So then we would need to figure out what points do these two inequalities have in common. So you notice that 4 is the only value that is in both of the domains. So if I have a real solution to this equation, it has to be 4. And if it's not 4, then I don't have a real solution to the equation. So if I use substitution, I'm going to have 4 minus 4 under the radical on the left and 4 minus 4 under the radical to the right, but 0 is not equal to 2 plus 0. So that means x equal to 4, which was the only possible real solution, does not give me a true equation, so there is no real solution. And that was a lot faster than what I had to do in the previous when I had to FOIL twice. So if you want to look at it graphically to see clearly why there's no solution each time, with the first equation, the left-hand side is the graph of the square root of 1 minus x, and the right-hand side is the graph of the square root of x minus 3. And you can see that neither of the graphs touch each other because they actually don't share any x values at all, because the red one goes from 1 and less, and the right one starts at x equals 3 and goes above. When we look at the second example, we do share 4 in common, but they don't intersect at that point. They are two completely different points. So one has it where y is equal to 0, and the other one has it where y is equal to 2. So again, the two graphs never intersect, and therefore they do not have a solution. So we are going to have a worksheet for today, and I will be posting the answer documents to the previous 2 assignments. And if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to message me and we can set something up.